Okay, so the entire chapter that I'm discussing is set in an Irish pub. It begins with HCE drinking a glass of Guinness, and he's mulling over everything that's transpired so far. So, as he's drinking a glass of Guinness, the first line it says there's an acrostic that spells out "I'm no man." So he's kind of wondering whether or not like what he's like done affects his manlyhood. Later on, his regular customers start to come in, and they just begin having whatever you do in the pub. So there's Curse the Tailor, and he tells about his interactions. He talks about his interactions with a Norwegian sailor, comedians Butt and Taff, and they retell a story about how a Russian general was shot by Buckley. Later on, four men. Buckley? I don't know.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's just like plot points. And then four old men bother HC. They have funeral games, and then HCE passes out from drinking too much. So the focus of my discussion is about the pub and the space it creates for information to kind of network. There's a TED Talk episode where the speaker discusses the conception of coffee houses and the architecture of space it creates for information to travel. So it's kind of like the water cooler effect, where if you're by yourself and you're mulling over an idea or information, you kind of like reach a roadblock. But when you're with another person or like multiple people, you kind of bounce back ideas, and it helps facilitate an environment that like helps innovation.
Okay.
And like just the creation of coffee houses that helped bring about like the Age of Enlightenment. So the Irish pub functions in the same way as a coffee house, in the sense that it creates a space for ideas to be networked. However, there is a distinction between coffee houses and Irish pubs in the sense that a coffee house is a place you go to during the daytime, and it's usually on an academic pretense, whereas a pub, it's of the nighttime, and you go there to have merriment. So the nature of the information that's being spread around in a pub, it's not really about academics, rather it's tall tales, jokes, laughter, etc. So radios are also being alluded throughout the chapter, and the chapter is divided with an epilogue and prologue. I read this somewhere online. And so in a sense, it mimics a radio serial during this time. Like it was like the golden age of radios. So Joyce implements that in this chapter. And radios are another tool to broadcast information. So it's similar to a pub and a coffee house, but it doesn't create. It's like space isn't a component for radios. Like you can transmit information like miles away, whereas when you're in a coffee house or a pub, you have to be in like an enclosed environment. Also, information is like a one way for a radio.
Okay.
Radio just broadcasts information. You can't refute whatever it says. And then, yeah, I don't know if you want me to like read my chapter and
It's your presentation.
unpack.
You tell me what you want to say.
Okay, so the paragraph that I focused on is the first paragraph. It starts with Tove Tubular. So, Tove Tubular High Fidelity Dial Dealer, as modern as tomorrow afternoon and in appearance up to the minute, hearing that anybody in that red douchey of Rollingstown schemes to have the wrong type of date, equipped with super shielded umbrella antennas for distance, getting in connected by the magnetic links of Bellini Toasty coupling system with a vital tone speaker, capable of capturing sky buddies, harbor craft embedded senses, key clickings, vacuum cleaners due to woman form mobile or man-made static embalming the whole ham shack and wobble down in an aluminum stone pound so as to serve him up as a mulligatawny monogram, electrically filtered for all Irish earths and ohms.
So this is talking about the pub.
So this is the opening scenes of the pub, and like in this first section, it just kind of creates a space of the pub. There's nothing concrete that's mentioned in the chapter that kind of like implies that you're in a pub. There's no bar stools, there's no barmaid or anything. So the creation of space is through just the information, the nature, like the water cooler effect, and like the interactions between the characters. So Tove Tubular, Tove is Danish for 12. The 12 customers who bring in a radio into the pub, and it's blaring in the background throughout the whole entire narrative. Tube is a radio wave. High fidelity, it's referring to his fidelity or his lack of lack of fidelity because he, supposedly had a scandal. Hi-fi is a technical term for radios when the sound reproduction is good. Dial dialer is an Irish parliament. It also refers to the tuning dial on a radio, and in a pub you're dilly-dallying. As modern as tomorrow afternoon and an appearance up to the minute, the radio is technologically advanced as the next day.
Okay.
And appearance up to minute describes the way radio waves produce information almost instantaneously. Hearing or fearing, rude is Irish for red or rude, and a duchy is the territory of duke and duchess. So the line where it says, hearing that anybody in that rude duchy of Duchy Wellington scheme to have the wrong type of date can be read as fearing that Duke of Wellington, meaning that everyone in HCE's vicinity has a wrong idea of what happened, which is why everyone begins discussing what actually happened. So he's just kind of clearing up his name. Equipped with super shielded umbrella antennas for distance, radio antennas receive signals from long distances and frequencies. Getting and connected by the magnetic fields of belly-toasty coupling system with a vital tone speaker. Radio is radiation of electromagnetic energy through space. Bellini and Tosti are pioneers of radio telegraphy. They are also Italian composers. Coupling units refer to the coupling of units in radio amplification, and vital tone speaker refers to the speaker inside a radio. Capable of capturing sky bodies, radios capture radio waves that move through space. Harborcraft emittances radio messages from aircraft and ships. Key clickings refer to the sound a telegraph key makes. Telegraph key is a general term for a device that is used to send Morse code. Similar keys are used for manual telegraphy, such as electrical telegraphy or radio telegraphy. Vacuum cleaners.
Oh shit! I destroyed the. She's in the zone.
It's okay. Vacuum cleaners also refers to Vatican Radio, the official broadcasting service of the Vatican. A vacuum is a space void of matter, as in referring to the pub that is described without physical components. And in Latin, viaticum means Eucharist, which is a sacrament. But the whole line that says vacuum cleaners due to woman-formed, mobile, or man-made static, it's kind of talking about a radio interference of radio from a vacuum cleaning. And in Italian, La donna è mobile is a line from Verdi's Rigoletto translating to women are fickle.
So was it really necessary to define pretty much every word in there instead of just breaking it down sentence by sentence and translating it?
It's everything. You have to break down the words, you have to translate sentences.
Okay.
If it's in a language, you have to talk about like what it means. So in this line, it's ALP is in the background and she's performing wifely duties. She's cleaning while her husband and his customers are having a good time. Boiling the whole ham shack. Boiling the whole ham. ALP is cooking. Ham shack is an amateur wireless transmitting station. Wobble down in an aluminum soundspan. Gobbling down in an aluminum saucepan. So as to serve him up a mulligatawny merry-go-round, they're all sitting in a circle talking. Mulligatawny soup, ALP is cooking again. Rom is German for space, referring to space in a pub. Electrically filtered for all Irish earths and ohms. So the first word is electrically and electrically. Filtered for all Irish ohms, meaning censorship for Irish homes. James Joyce, a lot of his novels before they were published, they were banned for censorship reasons. And ohm is a unit of electrical resistance. And that's my presentation.